Welcome everyone to the part 3 of this demo session on ABAP on Cloud training. In our last two episodes, we have discussed about what is ABAP on Cloud. We have scheduled and set up our first trial account into SAP Cloud Platform Cloud Foundry to set up our ABAP environment. And we have also created our database table along with our service definition and service binding. The OData service was exposed, and now in this session we will go ahead and see how can we create a Fiori application in SAP WebIDE full stack and connect this Fiori application to our OData service which was created on top of our custom table so-called sales order. I would recommend you to kindly look at part 1 and part 2 of this video first. If you have not seen them, I will put the link into the description of this video for part 1 as well as part 2.
And you can see the OData service has been created right there in the cloud. You can enter your entity set name and you can see there's no data right now, of course, in our database table, hence it's not showing any data. So this is the way your OData is now generated, and using this OData, we can go ahead and create a Fiori elements preview. Now, to create a Fiori elements preview, I would first go ahead and add some annotations as part of our CDS view. So this is all completely driven by annotation. So we have to go back, and in order to now generate a Fiori elements UI, we have to go ahead and add here all the different annotations. So let us go ahead and add annotations to bring a beautiful Fiori elements UI, because it's all completely driven by annotations. So we will come to our data model. So system has generated all the create, read, update capability. You can also test that using the Postman to insert, update, delete data, but I want to do it right away from my Fiori app. So let's go ahead and add Fiori annotations for creating the UI. So UI.header.info first of all to begin with, and then we will say my type name is sales order, type plural name, sales orders, and then come down. We will just add this UI annotation for selection fields. I want a selection field in my Fiori element with position number 10. The same field should be acting as a line item for us. So you want to display this on the table also. And also I want this field to be displayed as part of my detail screen, my object page. So that's your identification annotation. We will discuss about this annotation more in detail when we'll go to the real step-by-step tutorials with examples. So right now just adding them right away like this. And let's go ahead and see this. So now I will say 10, 20, 30, 40. So this number is basically the position of the element on the UI. And now I will also add something called facet annotation, and just add here the ID. Type is going to be standard facet. I want to create purpose is standard. So we will also see how to create a table in the facet in upcoming days. Suppose you want to create a scenario where you want to create a sales order along with line items, so that this facet will help you actually to achieve that. So label, let's save that. So, and I will just activate. So now since we have annotation, system will necessarily generate the required annotation file, so-called WAN file, and you will be able to see the application preview, hopefully with the Fiori elements. So now I'll just save it. We have already activated it. Right click and open app preview. And now we will probably try to create the Fiori application directly in SAP WebIDE. So we have exposed the service for our UI purpose, but it's time now we go ahead and build this application in WebIDE full stack in cloud platform. So the front end part also we will build it now. So I'll go back to our cloud platform trial account cockpit and we say launch my SAP WebIDE. So let's launch the SAP WebIDE here. And in this WebIDE, we will go ahead and connect to our ABAP on cloud system from the WebIDE, and we will be able to access the OData service which we had built. So that's the whole idea now. So let's go ahead and do that. So WebIDE is the preferred development environment for UI applications. I'm sure you must have heard about it or you guys would have used it in the past. If not, don't worry. We will cover also the introduction of WebIDE once we start. So in this now, what I will do is I will just create a multi-target application. So I will right click here, say new project from template, and we would like to create a Cloud Foundry multi-target application. So let's choose here Cloud Foundry. And now you will see here something called SAP multi-target application. I say next. Let's give some name. Z ABAP on cloud demo. ABAP Fiori app. I say next. And we just say, I want to use HTML5 repository as part of this application. And I'll say our first ABAP on cloud app. I say finish. So we are now creating a Fiori application because we are not able to see the application preview from Eclipse right now. So you can see here system has created a basic project, Cloud Foundry multi-target application project, and I will right click in this project and say create, go to the project new, and we would like to create an HTML5 module inside the project. Before we do that, we need to connect our project to SAP Cloud Platform Service. So just choose that. And you can see here its system is not showing me the ABAP here, right? So ideally it should show me the ABAP here so that I can connect to our Cloud Platform Service. So why it's not showing is you have to go to right click, edit, project settings. So you see these project settings, and here you have to enable the Cloud Foundry to be able to access the service which is exposed via ABAP in the Cloud Foundry environment. So just go to Cloud Foundry, and now I see use the following settings for this project. Choose this option and choose our data center, Europe data center. That's where our ABAP on cloud instance is running, and it will automatically pick up the namespace and trial, and I'll save the settings. Superb. Let's right click now and say new SAP Cloud Platform Service. And voila, you see now whole lot of new options are available. The one which we are trying to connect is to an ABAP service. So we have created an ABAP instance. So I will just search for ABAP, and you see ABAP trial instance. I want to connect to that ABAP trial instance, and I'll say use existing instance. We have an Anubhav AOC, and you can give some resource name as Anubhav ABAP on cloud service. Finish. And now what we will do is we are ready to create a Fiori app element application. So I will say new Fiori application, HTML5 module, and we would like to create a Fiori elements application of type list report. Say next. Let's give some module name, our ABAP on cloud Fiori crude. This is the application I want to create. Web on cloud Fiori app. Namespace is, let's say, ats.demo, and I say our first native cloud Fiori app. I will say next. And now you see we have a lot of these options available. The one which we are interested is SAP Cloud Platform Service. Just choose that. And you can see our Anubhav ABAP on cloud instance. So in this now we will have our OData service, which was just created with the service binding system. Of course, is logging you in now again. So it's authenticating your user automatically with your WebIDE account with which you logged in, and it will load all the list of OData services out there. So let me just quickly log in. The login is successful, and you would see here all the services will be displayed. So the service which we created, guys, was this one, ZATSC sales order service. Yeah. So let's find that out here. There you go. You can see this is our service binding, ZATSSB sales order. That's the one we were looking for. Yeah. It has an entity set with the same name as our OData service, as our CDS view name. So we choose this, and now we are ready to go ahead and see the Fiori apps element preview. So say next. It is loading all the required metadata from the CDS data model. It is fetching the required annotation files. You can see still it's loading. So this is completely cloud to cloud connection. So our WebIDE full stack is running in the cloud. Our OData service, which is built using new RESTful programming model, is running in the cloud. And now I can choose, say, next. So this is a complete cloud native application. And now let's choose our entity set, finish, and finally, we will have our end-to-end Fiori app created, which has complete transactional capabilities to talk to our new RESTful application programming model system. So that's our app now. You can see it's been created here. Let's try to execute this. So I'm going to say run as a web application to just show you the preview. So the preview which was not working there, we just kind of ignored it, and now we have developed our own application out here into the WebIDE full stack. And now hopefully we can see the preview over here. You can see the app is already starting up, it's booting. You can see the booting process over here in the console actually. So you can see the booting process in the console for this multi-target application, which is built on ABAP-based OData service. And that uses completely the managed scenario of RESTful programming model. So you can see still it's just booting up. Hopefully it will boot, and then we will be able to see the application preview. So you can see it has launched a browser, and in the browser now it's launching our application. And I will just click on this to see the preview of our application. So this is a real end-to-end productive application. In our subsequent session, we will also learn how to deploy this application directly in SAP Cloud Platform. And superb, can you see all our fields out there on the top? And you can see it is enabled the CRUD functionality, create, delete, update, read. So maybe what we will do is we will just at least test the search functionality. So what I will do is I'll just go ahead and create and insert one simple sample record in the sales order table manually, and then we will see how it works. So let's go back to Eclipse quickly just to create another program and just run the program to insert a record in the database table. You can see that record right there on the UI. So I will go back and create a new class to quickly create. So let's go to our package, and we will create a program to insert some records. So there's no programming facility here for creating ABAP report. That's restricted. You can create a class though, and I say Z insert sales order. It's a class, so use good naming conventions. ZCL insert sales order. I'll say next. And let's some code, ABAP code to insert data in our sales order table. Okay, so in this we will go ahead in the public section. I will add an interface. if underscore oo class run, and we will implement a run method. So this is how I can have an ABAP program written which can do some processing for us. So what we will do is we will insert some data in our database table. The database table name is ZATS sales order. Let's do that. Copy that. And let's insert some records. So data, ls work area or sales order, type my database table. And then we will say insert into this table values. And let's fill this ls sales order with the data. And we will enter the sales order ID. Let's say 1. Customer name. Gross amount, sales organization. Currency code. Created by and created on. Let's enter customer name. Sales organization 1. Gross amount 10,000 INR. Created by is uname. Get timestamp created on. What is syntax to get timestamp? So let me just quickly check it. So get timestamp into field, get timestamp field, and then the value. Timestamp field. So that's how you get timestamp. And let's insert the data. And that's all we will have. Now let's execute this ABAP class. This will insert one record. I executed, and hopefully this inserts one record. Let me add more records. So 2 Srinivas. I just save this, activate and execute this. So we should have 2 records now in the table. And let's go back to the table, execute the table, and voila, we have got 2 records in the table. Straight away we go to our Fiori application and click on Go button. And there you go, your data has been inserted in the database table. And that's immediately visible on the Fiori app. I can drill down, and there is some problem going on with the Fiori Elements preview at this point of time in the cloud server, but hopefully this will get resolved by evening or so, and then we will be able to also edit and create the new data right from the Fiori app. So this is currently, I think, some problem in the ABAP system in the cloud. So unfortunately, we're not able to create the data. Even we are not able to see the data preview, the application preview right from the service implementation here. So this preview also should have worked ideally. So it's not working, that clearly indicating that there is some problem in the system at this point of time. Yeah, so that's something we have to bear with at this point of time, but at least I hope you are able to see the end-to-end scenario, how we create a new database table, create a CDS data model on top of it, creating a behavior definition, then creating also a service definition, service binding, creating a Fiori application, Also, you will be able to view the application preview. Unfortunately, due to system limitation at this point of time, I'm not able to show. With that, I'm done with this demo session. If you're willing to subscribe to this course on ABAP on Cloud, please feel free to write us an email on install.abap@gmail.com. You can also watch our course page on anubhavtrainings.com. Thank you so much for making this possible to attend this demo session. I will catch you up into the sessions regularly. Have a nice day and goodbye.